I often buy plants on eBay, so I often get free snails or microorganisms like ostrocots. But with this Christmas moss came 6 very small Neocaridina shrimp of the type Blue Dream. Since I didn't have an aquarium yet, I had to temporarily put them in my jar aquariums. Normally you would acclimate them to the water parameters first, but as there was almost no water to start with, I just put them in. I have no idea how they survived the shipping, as it was extremely hot outside at the time. So I immediately went shopping for a small aquarium. This is a 20-liter cube aquarium, which is the smallest you should keep shrimps in. I also started soaking stones and driftwood, so that they leach any harmful substances and sink immediately when I'm using them in the build. Since the shrimp was still very small, they could probably survive in the jars for quite a while, but I wanted to set up the aquarium as quickly as possible. Therefore I took some gravel from this overgrown tiny tank, to cycle the cube as quickly as possible. This way the beneficial bacteria are already present and can spread on the various materials in the aquarium. In this bag I added some aqua soil, which provides nutrients to the plants I added later. This will be a filterless setup, so I added a lot of substrate, which creates a large surface area for beneficial bacteria. This right here is lava gravel, which is perfect due to its high surface area, but it had to be cleaned first. On top of the lava gravel comes a substrate full of beneficial bacteria, which is covered by black basalt. Neocaridinas prefer a dark substrate as they feel much safer there. Since shrimp feed on algae and biofilm, I added a lot of stuff with high surface area. These white stones contrast nicely with the black substrate. This aerator helped aerating the water in the first few days, but I removed it after a while as it wasn't necessary. With larger plants in the back and smaller ones in the front, my goal was to create a nice little jungle with a lot of hiding spots for the shrimp. Some of the smaller plants had to be glued to the stones, as they would die buried in the substrate. This plastic lid, which I cut into a floating ring, prevents the floating plants from covering the entire surface of the water, so some light always reaches the bottom. This right here are starter bacteria to cycle the tank as fast as possible. After a few days, the first organisms, such as snails, copepods and ostracods, emerge from the plants. Some string algae appeared, but it was easily removed and never reoccurred. The plants also grew a lot. I tested the water regularly to check for nitrites and nitrates. But as everything was fine, the tank was ready for the shrimp after a final water change. It wasn't that easy to catch the shrimp in such small containers, but after a while I got them. This time I took my time to acclimate the shrimp to the conditions in the aquarium, by slowly mixing the water over time. I also added some fresh leaf litter. Shrimp love to feed on the biofilm that grows on it. Since I had to leave for 2 months, I also had to leave the shrimp without food or artificial light. But as the tank was exposed to a lot of indirect sunlight, I was sure they would survive. They were still pretty small and had plenty of leaf litter and surface area to graze on. And this is how it went. Some of the plants just exploded, but others died as there wasn't enough light. And the shrimp? They are doing absolutely fine. The original 6 grew so much bigger, as you can see here when you compare them to the new babies. And there are a lot of them. I counted over 50, so the shrimp didn't just survive in the aquarium, but thrived. This shrimp is already carrying eggs again. All in all, it was a happy end for the 6 unlucky tiny shrimps that got sent by accident. There's also an explosion of the ostracod culture. Here they share a piece of cucumber. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.